the Middle East never sleeps. It's have been so crazy because their secretary Hexet sent a direct message to Iran from the Pentagon saying, "To the IRGC leadership, we are watching you." He further stated that their capabilities are not the same, so the United States is stronger, and also that this is not a fair fight. He also accused Iran of digging out the bombed and devastated facilities, while the United States are only getting stronger. He also stated that they are ready to attack the critical infrastructure, pointing at the energy industry. Trump also stated that the next meeting with Iran may be held early next week, while he also said that Iran killed 42,000 protesters and must not be allowed to possess a nuclear weapon. It is interesting to see how the President Trump changed the words he's using. Before that, he said that Iran is not allowed to possess a nuclear weapon to arm its proxies financially or militarily, and he had other points on his list. Now, he mentions all the time only the nuclear issue. We also got informed that a ceasefire got into effect, also with Lebanon. It's a 10-day ceasefire, and the president stated that there will be no war with Lebanon anymore, even though the ceasefire is limited on 10 days. But what is weird, and it even seems opposite to all of that, at least for me it seems, that the United States is massing soldiers around Iran, looking like upcoming ground invasion. Also, the president still does not have a ceasefire, a lasting ceasefire with Iran. So we will see what will happen here. The Israeli defense minister even said that they have destroyed all Iranian strategic targets, and if necessary, we will do it again. After the ceasefire, the French President Macron stated that the terrorist organization must abandon its weapons and Israel must respect the sovereignty of Lebanon and stop the war. I will get on this point in a second, because Macron stated further, "I'm concerned that the ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel may be threatened due to the continuation of military operations." Also, it was said that the ceasefire agreement between Lebanon and Israel have entered into force, even though the IDF stated before the ceasefire took in effect that the IDF is preparing for possibility of fire from the Lebanese territory before the ceasefire starts. And as I said, I will get up to this point once again, because in this news, a senior tourist source told Al Jazeera that as long as the occupation is on our land, Lebanon and its people have the right to resist, by all means, force its withdrawal. As you might have noticed in the previous news, the ceasefire agreement was between Israel and Lebanon, even though Israel and Lebanon were not into war, but Israel was fighting the terrorist which embedded himself in Lebanon. Here, the terrorist stated that as long as the occupation is on our land, so basically he says that Lebanon has been taken hostage from the terrorist. Lebanon and its people have the right to resist, even though it's not about Lebanon, nor about the people in Lebanon, but the terrorists who are holding the Lebanese civilians as hostages. So basically, he wants to drag Lebanon as a country to be part of the problem. While all of this is happening, the security belt have extended 10 kilometers deep. This is stated by the president of Israel, Netanyahu, while Trump stated the next meeting with Iran may be held early next week. I am not even quite sure why next week is chosen, because next week the ceasefire agreement is running out, so there might be even a possibility that the United States is planning to target the senior leadership of Iran. However, this would mean that the United States will damage massively its relationship with Pakistan, and it would be way more difficult to target them, especially every meeting so far conducted in Pakistan. The Iranian delegation was accompanied by Pakistani fighter jets and additional security measures. So we will see what will happen. The IDF also informed us that inside a school in southern Lebanon, forces have located more than 130 weapons belonging to the terrorist organization. And if you click on these images, we see massive stockpiles of weapons of different kind, plus a cute dog over here. We get also informed that the new Syria has uncovered a terrorist smuggling network near the Lebanon border. The Syrian forces also seized multiple warehouses filled with weapons and ammunition prepared for transfer. This is additional to a separate operation where officials intercepted around 6,000 explosive components believed intended for building IEDs, so improvised road mines. Also, as you may know, the Hamas terrorist organization have rejected the disarmament agreement, and if you click on this image, we can see Gaza mapped, while this pink area is the area from where the IDF have withdrawn from since the ceasefire took effect. The yellow area, so this one, is where the anti-Hamas militias are currently working and are supported by Israel. These little stars are the outposts of the IDF, while the blue line is what the IDF is currently holding. Lastly, this light blue, small parts, is reportedly what the IDF is clearing at the moment. We might also see the resumption of war in Gaza very soon. I want also to remind you to something. The Iranian internet is still largely shut down, while an Iranian lawmaker said that restoring the internet access is not in the country's interest at this stage. He called on authorities to compensate businesses and citizens for economic losses. I suppose this will never happen, especially after the war, where Iran have been damaged massively and might be even damaged further if the war continues. Therefore, I forgot it, because I almost did. We got also confirmed that the Strait in Iran is finally open for vessels transporting goods like oil and so on, but the United States blockade is still active and is blocking the Iranian ships. As mentioned before, Israel and Lebanon have agreed on a ceasefire, and I believe this is the reason why Israel have agreed to all of it, because of the pressure of the United States. So the Strait goes open for the next few days, maybe 10 days or something like that. But now to this latest news, the United States Department have released details ahead of a possible Israel-Lebanon ceasefire, which was stated that full recognition of sovereignty and territorial integrity will be provided, and this is a double-meant line, because it can mean that Israel can keep the territory that it occupied, but it can also mean that Israel will be not allowed anymore to attack the terrorists in Lebanon, so it will be considered like attacking the country. But it doesn't make any sense, because the third point is that Israel retains the right to self-defense. So basically, this gives Israel the freedom to go in whenever they want. It was also stated that security along the border must be provided, and Lebanon is expected to act against the terrorist organization. Also, as a key point, only the Lebanese government would be armed. Here again, the words used are very interesting, because it states that Lebanon is expected to act against the terrorist organization. It does not say to disarm them. That's a big difference, even though the key point states that only the Lebanese government would be armed. It just means that the terrorists will not be removed from their country or held accountable, but only the weapons will be taken away from them. Next up, we got informed that Trump said that if there's no deal, the fight will resume. Before that, he stated that they're very close to a deal and many gaps have been closed. I personally believe that the war will continue, but as always, I might be wrong. Also, take care of fake news and fake posts. It can even happen to me, especially in days of AI, that a post is just invented. So take care of all of that. Stay awesome. Until the next video.